Okay. Okay. Just waiting on me. Do 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 do. And we are live. Hello, welcome to the live item box, the second, and hopefully, probably not the last, because figured, hey, E3's come and gone yesterday, so figured, why not get comfortable first and let my t-shirt not rise up my back.
That's what people want to listen in today, don't they? How you're comfortable.
Well, you don't want your t-shirt riding up your back and all you feel is just the fibers scratching at your lower back.
Hang on. Hang on a minute.
Alright. Live, everyone. So, hello everyone who is watching. Tom Park, Speed Racer, Caitlin Lynn, Titan and White, Pokemon Fan, Vortex, and hopefully Blue.
You can tell we're live because I got called out again.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. So,
indeed.
Yeah, we're going to be, this one will be the live special. We're talking about E3 2017 and Sonic Forces, which will probably take up the majority of our conversation.
Yeah, well, we'll try and probably save that to last because we'll have a lot to say.
Yeah, all Sonic questions will be held up until the final. But anyway, I need to send you the link with all the major announcements. So.
But anyway, I was going to say actually, I mean, so yeah, E3 this year. I mean, how much of it have you seen, watched, or have you tried watching any of the conference, or just butt in whenever they just...
I don't give a shit about the conferences. It's just like blah blah blah. We've gone better technology. Blah blah blah. We've got bigger this. Blah blah blah. Look at my massive ego because I'm standing in front of 2,000 people and about 20 of them are journalists who want to get paid for a 400-word essay. So honestly, I couldn't give a shit about the conferences or the press conferences. It's just a load of bile until the because all I care about is the actual fucking games. That's what I don't really cares about. You can go out there all day long, but honestly, just give us the game trailer and that's it. That's why I like Nintendo with Nintendo Direct. It's just like, here's what we're doing. Have a look. Just very direct.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me just set that. Okay, we'll start this off with, well, wasn't even looking at the audio is a bit low. I do apologize. So push up a bit more, push it out a bit more. Okay. Oh, that's better.
All right, I hope so. I hope my booming voice isn't going to annoy anyone.
Yeah, everyone is complaining about the Shadow of Evil. Honestly, we'll get to the...
We'll get to that, yeah. We'll get to that business. Yeah.
I just started recording and all of a sudden the cat's meowing.
See, this is what happens when you live. You try and plan everything and then something goes wrong.
Come here. Anyway, just get Nintendo out of the way since this isn't the first on the list anyway of recent stuff. Firstly, there's a logo for Metroid Prime 4.
Now, I have to admit, when I saw that, I thought I knew they were working on a Prime 4.
The thing is, though, I did see a fake Metroid Prime 4 logo. We talked about it last time. About they're saying how to make a leaked photo look good.
Yeah, we just said that.
Just Photoshop, make it blur. There you go, it's convincing. But no, Prime 4 is official.
Yeah.
Don't know what the
subtitle, to be fair,
I want to know what the subtitle is because I'm not too sure what you can do with the Prime series now that you fucked it with Federation Force.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I had a feeling they were doing this. I mean, ever since Federation Force came out, I had a feeling that this was going to be already in the works for a while before that game came out and then caused a hissy fit. So I had a feeling about that. The only two things I do know is that A, this is going to be, was it early 2018 they said? And B, it's not developed by Retro Studios, which is kind of bizarre.
You would think it would. Because they're the only they're the only people who actually know how to handle the Prime series in terms of
they're the ones who made
development and actual writing.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny. I mean, apparently it's done by, I think, one of Nintendo's other development team, but yeah, Retro Studios, somebody brought up that nobody knows what those guys have done for a long time, not since the Donkey Kong Country Returns game.
Yeah, which, again, that surprised me. It's like, oh, I'm not saying like a game has to stick to one specific genre, like From Software's doing right now. with the dinosaurs, Bloodborne, and everything.
As usual, no, that's ourselves.
But Retro Studios making Donkey Kong games, like, I don't know. But not just that, but we've got another Metroid game, Metroid Samus Returns, or what people hopefully would be called Metroid Dread, since it was teased way back in Metroid Prime 1.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but this is like the atypical 2.5D classic Metroid game. You can tell by the logo, it's straight. It's Prime, it's italic. When it's actually classic, it's straight.
Yeah. I was going to say, the only thing I thought about seeing that game, or at least what I've seen of the footage of it, is this not their attempt to try and do the remake of Metroid 2?
If it is a response, they're way too late.
I know, I was going to say, if this is what if they were doing this, yeah.
The Metroid 2 remake was in development for 8 years.
Yeah, exactly. So if they've been working on this for, say, 3 years in comparison, it's, again, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, they haven't, as any of the news saying that this is meant to be a new game, you know, is it in between one of the Prime series or the original trilogy or something?
Possibly. I really don't know. If it is a Metroid 2 remake, like, it's called Return of Samus. I don't know, it could be. It could be, we've got the fan one, which is basically Zero Mission version. Now we have Metroid Samus Returns, which could be the Metroid. I just remembered the actual subtitle of the damn game.
Yeah, I know that's.
So it's like you can't have two games with the words Samus and Returns in the same subtitle, because it's just going to confuse historians.
Yeah, well, like I said before, it's just I got this feeling of if this was the reason why they tried to can another Metroid 2 remake game, just because they were working on it as well, it's like you're not going to get many people's favors back with this.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I like the 2D Metroid games. I haven't really got into the first and second game. The second game was a bit, very restrictive. Have not found a mirror yet for the Metroid 2 remake. Because Nintendo's is like, there's one.
Again, we said, yeah, we know.
There's Homer.
Exactly. Yeah, so they're basically, oh, isn't that lovely? I'm going to take this now and smashy smash smash with a cease and desist. So, yeah.
And a smack and a smack and a smack and a how dare you, how dare you, how dare you.
Yeah, but but like I said, you know, apparently Metroid is not dead to them. They're just trying to figure out how to squeeze more money out of it.
Well, a lot of Nintendo properties aren't already dead. It's going into
long-term hibernation.
Yeah, that's the word. So I'm trying to think the name. I've heard hyperventilate. It's like, no, it's not hyperventilate, brain. Move on.
No, they don't choke to death.
No. A mainline Pokemon game is being said it's coming to the Switch, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully, Pokemon Stars. But at the same time, we already got Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon. Which is Black 2 and White 2. It's basically it's a side story to the main story of Sun and Moon.
I know, it's
and we got some really cool looking Lunate and Solio. So they look pretty good. So who knows what the Ultra... Because they got Mega Evolve, this will be Ultra Evolve. It's like, how much more Evolve can you get?
That's well, Digimon had that problem, remember, so...
Yeah. You got Champion... You got Champion, Ultimate, and Mega.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey got a new trailer, and it showed off a bunch of Mario in costumes, and the fact that you can actually take control or possess...
Mario can possess people, ladies and gentlemen. He's learned the black arts. He's learned the black arts.
And also the fact that it's a realistic T-Rex with a Mario hat and a mustache.
Exactly,
I never thought I'd see the day when I see a T-Rex with a mustache.
You know, I did worry to myself, you know, whether these guys had no idea to go with the series after Galaxy, but no, they found somewhere else to go.
Yeah. No idea why. No,
I no idea. Yeah.
Wish I did.
Yeah, I mean, what I've heard about it and what I've seen of the game is obviously the idea is that they want to surprise people again with Mario because, you know, we've kind of had enough of retro throwbacks. In fact, people are already trying to point out, like, all that, what are the references and stuff is like, look, we've had about, 3 or 4 years of New Super Mario Brothers, which is just basically saying, yes, Mario Brothers 3 existed. We never need to hear about it again.
Mario Bros. 3 and Mario World existed.
Yes, we know that. Can we please move on? And at least this time, actually, yes, we are moving on. Thank God.
But like Mario Odyssey as well, they actually showed off like Mario in different costumes. They showed the Mexican costume, which he hasn't had for a while. I think that was in a the F1 or Tetris game. I can't remember what game it was. Oh, no, Mario Picross. He also has a Mario Picross costume. He has the golf one again, which was shown off in Smash Bros. For Wii U.
I think he's actually got the Super Mario Maker outfit as well in the game somewhere.
Yeah, he has the Mario Maker outfit, or the original one with the Wrecking Crew outfit.
The Carpenter outfit, yeah, when he was back a
also a tuxedo, which people say is from the Mario Bros. Animated movie. Which I think is a bit of a stretch, but still, it's the only official Mario movie.
I know. Well, put it. Yeah, I was going to say, we'll put it this way. The plot of the game is, well, guess what? There's 3 entities. Where do you think they're going to go? But this time, it's apparently Bowser's kidnapping Princess Peach and then trying to marry her properly.
Yeah, for in entire history, about the 5th time, because I do remember he actually did marry. Peach and Bowser did marry in Super Paper Mario, but that was under the guise of a different villain.
Yeah, but this time around he's trying to make it a big public event. So apparently there's some new enemies you're going to have to tackle with who are wedding planners. And like I said, it's your chance to travel the world and, again, find and stop him.
I'd like to remind everyone about Sonic Forces. We'll be talking until the end because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, I like I said, I know I probably come off as like, oh, Mario, everybody loves him or whatever. It's like, I will admit, I do like Mario games. I do like it when the 3D games try something new and interesting. Yeah. And this one really is pushing it.
Because like I don't know, when it comes to Mario games, it's like only so much you can do with the character.
Yeah.
Also,
which is
we have to talk about the one thing as well. Which should we talk about it now or wait until Ubisoft?
We'll probably wait until Ubisoft.
We'll wait until Ubisoft, so don't worry about
that. Well, I mean, really, we'll try and we'll only talk about the games we're interested in. I think that's the other thing. We won't go for everyone.
Breath of the Wild is getting some DLCs, and Rocket League is confirmed for the Switch. Rocket League is pretty good, so Switch version was inevitable.
Yeah.
Sony, moving on to Sony now. Spider-Man on PS4, it looks so fucking good. I want it. I really do.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I mean, when I was watching it, the first half was, okay, now you're just going Batman Arkham on us, and then as soon as you get to Web Slinger,
ever since Arkham Asylum, every game with fighting mechanic has been trying to emulate it, even the shit.
Yeah, but again, that's not really that's not saying they're just being weak. It's like no, technically, for a character like Spider-Man, that does work because you are having to get around areas very quickly and take out enemies with super speed anyway. So it works for Spider-Man, and really the main concern is obviously when you get to doing what all Spider-Man games try to do best is web slinging, and
web slinging looks like an actual sport again. Is the main part of the gameplay. The combat, while taken from Batman Arkham, which basically was based on rhythm, and this pretty much works a lot better rather than just like, oh, here you got a counter, and it's just Spidey sense. That's basically what it is.
I mean, again, if you need an excuse,
in the actual, I guess there's quick time events, which is obvious, but again, you don't want the actual. I'm just reminded of that one little scene from the Spider-Man 3 video game, where you fail to rescue someone and Spider-Man just falls flat on his face.
Okay.
That's a real thing.
All right, I was going to say, because obviously they showed us the video and obviously they never failed at anything, but I was curious of like what would happen if you did fail? Would you just like slam
it? Was one little failed part as well. That was near the end. That was near the end of the helicopter. It's very seamless. It's always only goes into cutscene and it goes back into gameplay. And you take
I mean, again, that's something.
Just when the HUD comes up.
Again, something that Arkham Knight pretty much managed to do is then seamlessly go from gameplay into a cutscene in the engine, then back into gameplay again.
Yeah, the only way it gives it away is the camera just kind of moves. All of a sudden, it's like move forward and turn around. Like, okay, cutscene.
Yeah, well, it does that, or either does the traditional cutscene, cut to a character's location or whatever. That's the type of excuse. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how Insomniac have done this because again, they were handling with Ratchet and Clank last time, so this is like their chance to try and do something a bit different for them.
Ratchet and Clank before that was Sunset Overdrive, which basically was Ratchet and Clank in the real world.
Well, you say the real world, well, a very messed up teenager real world.
Well, the humans are humans, so that's how you can tell. Before that was Fuse, but I blame EA for that.
Yeah,
no one once again about a comedic group of people. You got 4 players
facing off a cyborg monster.
Make it a serious shooter.
Yeah, make it super serious. Yeah.
EA extruding arms.
I know. But essentially, it's seemingly they're pulling it off with this one.
I want to buy this day one. If it's like $40, great. If it's not, I'm gonna wait until it drops.
Yeah.
God of War, then reboot God of War got a lot more.
Show off.
Got to show a bit more story, which is it's a new Kratos because it showed as a little Easter egg on the vase. It shows the original Greek Kratos.
Yeah.
And we got this is the Viking one with
Yeah.
the sun. And
I mean that's kind of
everyone's calling it Dad of War.
Yeah, Dad of War, the Last of God or something.
Yeah. So it's like the Last of Us and everything. I'm not too crazy about the combat where it's still the Resi 4 over the shoulder.
Behind the camera.
But it still has the extreme action kind of gameplay. It's like you can't marry the two. It doesn't work. You need to pull the camera out a bit so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They're not enough to show off the scenery, but enough to actually see, like, oh hey, there's a guy about to shoot me with a fucking bow and arrow, or about to wind up for a really powerful attack.
I was kind of curious because
I possibly actually counter the bastard.
I was going to say, I'm curious exactly how the combat's going to work in a game like this, because you do get into areas which are pretty big, so whether or not you'll be able to see who's throwing an axe at you, or whether you'll counteract it and do a double combo thing or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like... Didn't Never Dead do the exact same thing, where it basically didn't give you much control of the camera, it just depends on which area you're facing?
Yeah, and like I said, I think it depends on if the game at least makes sure that whatever you see on camera can affect you and not just blindside you or any of that crap.
Well, it looks good. The actual story seems to be more based on like Vikings and not Nordic mythology.
Yeah, well, supposedly it's basically he has to raise his son to be a careless, fearless warrior, basically, in the midst of a strange, oddball world.
Yeah, it's going to be mentioned The Last of Us as well, because that's getting a freaking sequel.
Yeah, though we didn't see anything of that.
Not really. You got just basically Ellie's a lot older.
But that's it. Other than just we're doing it for real, and Naughty Dog are probably grinding like nuts off just to get it done.
New Uncharted this time with Chloe from Uncharted 2.
Yeah, The Lost Legacy.
Yeah, that looks. I've actually gotten around to starting playing Uncharted 2.
I'm just saying because that's going to be.
I gave up Uncharted 1 because I died 20 times in this one area. Dude, you have to shoot down a bunch of enemies. It's like, fuck all of you. I am done with this. I don't care what happens. I'm moving on to the games where they actually did get better.
Yeah, that's the Naughty Dog effect. But yeah, essentially, The Lost Legacy. That's going to be essentially the single player DLC for U4, and yeah, I mean, again, essentially just see what they do, what they change, or whatever. But you know, everything with Naughty Dog these days is like they're not going to skim on the quality side of things. We can be assured on that.
Yeah, wasn't there something else? I can't remember what else Sony showed off. There was like a lot of focus on VR. Oh, the remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
That was bizarre.
I'm confused as to why, since we already had The Last Guardian, which took at least 10 years to come out.
I mean, part of me feels like maybe this was the reason, like, you know, we spent all this money trying to get this one PS3 game finished, so we might as well, you know, coup our costs back by actually remaking one game that actually sold well.
Well, the only game of the trilogy that actually sold well.
Yeah, exactly, because again, famously, Ico, you know, critical darling, but nobody...
Ico, Bico, and Trico.
Yeah, exactly. Again, that's the ironic thing.
Because we knew Trico was the actual working title of The Last Guardian.
Yeah,
and Shadow the name of the creature. The Shadow Colossus PS4 looks fucking beautiful.
It does, although when I first saw it, I did think for a brief second this was actually going to be a follow-up. I did think to myself, maybe this would be... The first
part, it just showed like a bunch of...
It just shows the tower. It just shows...
The tower, it shows a bunch of people on horses, or just like horses just running through. It's like...
Yeah.
That's the ending of the game. Which,
exactly.
Which you haven't seen a spoiler.
Although if you watch again, you could if you watch back the trailer, you could actually see the bridge is still standing there. So it's obviously not, you know, it isn't taking place afterwards, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, but who's to say that this is actually not a full-on remake and doesn't go the Conquer Light and Reloaded where it changes a few things, maybe it changes the ending. Right.
The only thing I will say about this remake is whether or not they try and incorporate all the ideas that didn't get time in the last one. Because remember, one of the stories behind Shadow of the Colossus was, in the end, they only put in 12 Colossus, where originally they wanted to put in 26 or so. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they try and shove that into this game. Again, I don't know whether that, you know, for the sake of just getting a game out, just, you know, make the same game again, but prettier and nicer. Who knows? But I would definitely like to see if they do that, because at least that would be worthy enough to actually get it again.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably get it, but at the same time, I could just easily get the Shadow Colossus and Ico HD remaster.
I know that's kind of the weird thing because it's only. I mean, it's been over 10 years since the PS2 game came out. It's over. What was it, 2011 or 12 when the
2010, HD? 2010, I think.
Right, 2010. So it's not that long. Well, 7 years, but it doesn't feel that long ago anyway. No. So I don't know. I mean, whether or not this is just them recuperating all the money they spent into Guardian or whatever, I don't know. But see what happens with it.
Yeah. Did we see the new Need for Speed trailer? I have no interest in Need for Speed.
No, well, I know it's still going.
It's bad enough. It's bad enough when the fact that A, it's been the same game every time. B, the amount of game, 2 games in the entire franchise, Most Wanted. There's 2 of them called Most Wanted.
Yeah.
And if I was anything else, I'm just not into that. Not into the, I don't know, drag racing games.
Yeah, we'll put it this way: the fact that they got the team behind the Burnout series to really take hold of it afterwards, I mean, that kind of tells you they really didn't know what to do with it after a while.
That, and when the 18th anniversary, it just called that new game Need for Speed. No subtitle whatsoever.
Yeah, so you know it's going to continue regardless whether you like it or not. Actually, one quick side note. Actually, speaking of Burnout, actually the makers behind that have formed a new company, and they did a game called Dangerous Golf. Guess what that's like?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes.
It's a golf
and
ball that explodes.
It's basically Burnout with golf. Is basically as much as destruction you can have with a golf ball. And now they're working on a new game, which, oh god, I've forgotten its name at this minute. But they are working on that. It's basically going to be the pseudo sequel. Now, and they're currently working on that in a minute. Which is basically taking the crash mode, which is one of the most popular things about Burnout, and then making that into a full game. So keep your eyes out on that, kids.
Yeah. There's a lot of VR games like Skyrim VR, Fallout 4 VR, something called Star Child, which features a little rabbit thing.
Oh yeah, there was another thing called Moss as well, which was a little like mouse creature thing, and you sort of guide him through the sort of weird ancient thing. The 5 I got, it literally looked like Ico VR, basically. So
there's more reasons to get a PSVR, but at the same time it's a bit expensive to get that, the Eye, and 2 Move controllers.
Exactly, yeah. So, you know, I would say Moss is the one that would interest me in trying it out, but that said, I wouldn't fork out that much money for it yet, because, and even then, it's like we're still with the PS4 and the PS Pro, so there's no announcement of a PS5 or whatever next upgrade they got in planned.
No, that's pretty much it right now, because PS4 Pro is meant to be 4K compatible, which honestly is like just got up to 1080i, so what's the point?
Yeah, well, there's that issue, and then the fact that when people got it, there's all kind of issue that it didn't work, it would break down, it would overheat, and all that stuff. So, you know, if anything else, just stick with the main machine anyway, so at least you get something that works.
Moving on to Ubisoft, Far Cry 5's got a couple of trailers, but it was announced before E3, so who cares? All we know is that it's set in America and you're fighting left-wing Christian extremists. So
yeah,
taking a head from actual political titles today, and people are upset about it, saying, "Oh, it's liberal." It's like it's a video game. Who the fuck cares?
Well, considering that the whole well, let's be fair, Far Cry. This is bizarre because before it was just about you play a guy with a Hawaiian shirt going on an island facing off, a bunch of military men and supernatural shit.
Well,
and now look where we are now with the series.
That was the first game, was been developed by Crytek. Now it's a different game now.
I know, but like I said, it's
Far Cry 3. Everyone's taking the Far Cry 3 model, and that's what Far Cry 4 is. Far Cry Primal, and I'm guessing Far Cry 5 as well.
Even the Blood Dragon one, which is a joke.
It's an American fighting over Americans, other people, and then putting politics into it and having an argument against it. It's like, it's a video game, who gives a flying fuck, okay?
They do this obviously to rile up the feathers, but they know people want to get a bite for that, so, there's nothing new with that.
Well, Assassin's Creed Origins, which we haven't had Assassin's Creed game since the bundle, the Assassin's Creed Chronicles, with Russia, I think it's Russia, China, and India.
Wasn't the last one Syndicate?
Yeah, wasn't the last Syndicate, and that was over 2 years ago.
Right.
Which is surprising because they used to release Assassin's Creed
one a year.
Yeah, one time released 2 in 1 year.
Yeah, remember that? Actually, here's a funny story. Me and Dan went to a thing called Game Fest a few years ago, which was basically the game store in the UK doing basically their E3. And we actually got to see.
In the UK, it's just called Game, but it's like GameStop, but actually good.
Yeah. But essentially, we went
surprisingly, yeah, it does exist an official game, so it sells new games, and it's actually a good place.
Yeah, but like I said, that was the idea. We went to basically their E3, and we actually got into the Ubi area to see, what was it, Revelations?
Revelations, yeah, saying, Assassin's Creed 3? Yeah, well, we're not making it, so here's
You're going to have to wait. Yeah, you're going to have to wait.
We're not making it, it's like, you are making it, we'll see it next year.
Yeah, I think that was the thing, is you're going to have to wait a bit because we're not ready yet.
Yeah, because they're making an entirely new engine for it.
Yeah.
So Assassin's Creed Origins is set in ancient Egypt, and with the title, it's the earliest point in the timeline, which is already fucking convoluted, so you might as well just give up now.
Well, the whole series is basically you're playing someone being virtually put back in time to become an assassin during...
That was only up until Assassin's Creed 3, when they killed him off, and now it's just... I forget what the fucking company's name is now, but they're making video games based on his corpse, his brain psyche, to go further back in time. That's why we had...
why there was more games afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's another Kenway with Assassin's Creed 4, and we have Unity and Syndicate and Rogue. So then we have Watch Dogs, which ties into it somehow.
That's it. Well, it's a kind of, I think that's more like a sort of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, haha, isn't that funny type deal.
But this looks good, but I fell out with the Assassin's Creed series with Assassin's Creed 4. A lot of people say that was the best one of the entire series.
How many... Alright, you know probably more than this. How many of the games have pretty much just used the entirety of the Templar as like either the big, evil, supernatural thing they're trying to get after or whatever?
All of them.
Right.
That's the entire point. Assassins versus Templars after the pieces of Eden to actually claim global power. One wants to use it for... One's passive, one's aggressive. That's pretty much it. There's no difference between the two. It's just one has blades, the other one has technology.
Well, I'm going to say this. I mean, Broken Sword did this back in '96, and they only did it for the one time, and then every other game has at least been something else. Oh, apart from 3, I will say 1 and 3 are the ones where it has to do something with the Templars, and afterwards it's been something completely different, because I guess by then they felt like...
changed it up was Assassin's Creed Rogue, where you play as a assassin who betrayed them to actually join the Templars.
Yeah. I'm just saying...
I want to get that game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Charles Cecil got behind Broken Sword. I mean, he's pretty much knows about the Templar stuff, so I'm kind of curious from his point of view. It's like, Jesus, man, can't you move on?
Anyway, moving from Charles Cecil to Michael Ansel, and this is...
Michel Ancel, yes.
Michel Ancel.
Yes.
I got him Michael.
You can call him Michael, Michel, whatever.
17 fucking years for this.
And boy, do they use the word fuck.
And I can't exacerbate more than fucking, even though it needs to. Beyond Good and Evil 2. The only complaint I had with the trailer doesn't have the same kind of feel as Beyond Good and Evil 1, because the graphics look very different.
I know.
Again, that's just
technology for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I had it on PS2 and I had the HD version on the collection before I moved over, so I don't have it anymore. But you know more about Beyond Good and Evil than I do. Yes,
I mean, first of all, I have to say I loved Beyond Good and Evil when I first played it. As someone who's never played something like Zelda, people kind of said like this is like a Zelda-ish dungeon crawler type game. I still loved it for what it was, how it felt, the overall tone of the game, and while it did frustrate me a lot, I will say towards the very end, it's proper chewing the controller anger stuff. But I really loved it. But I always felt I'm really been unsure of the idea that, we want to do a sequel, it's meant to be a trilogy, and then all these years they've teased it, they've hidden it again, Ubisoft has said, no, it's in the works, don't worry, we're not candid. And now seeing it here, yeah, it's great to see that, and that actually Michel got on stage, and I think he was tearing up a little bit, it's like, yes, we finally got the damn thing done. But I am still very worried about this game, because again, it's like, after such a long time, will it live up to anybody's expectations to what they think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is? I mean, to put it bluntly, they're going to have to change the number because this is set before the events of the first game. So it's not Beyond Good and Evil 2. So technically it's Beyond Good and Evil The Beginnings, or whatever you want to call it. And the other thing is apparently the main plot is to do with, people going into outer space, and this is where, where all the animal humanoids came from. So, when you're thinking, why is there a talking rhino next to a human being? It's like, well, this game will explain it. But again, I'm still not sure. I mean, again, because the big thing that everybody talked about Beyond Good and Evil 1 is that the cliffhanger at the ending was to do with Paige getting infected by the Dom. So if you're expecting that to be resolved anytime soon, don't count on it unless they do it at the very end of this one for shits and giggles.
Then was it in 2009 or 2008 they released the teaser trailer with Jade and Paige?
Yes. I mean, this is the weird thing, because what we originally thought was going to happen was it was going to continue onwards. Jade and Paige moved, they're either on Hillis or somewhere else on a new planet, and supposedly, one is, the first teaser was just Paige sitting on the road sniffing up a fly, because that's to entice the game. And the second, that's what he does. Well, to be fair, he doesn't really eat insects that much, but whatever. And the other one, which never officially got happened, was Jade running through a sort of metropolitan, kind of like the city in District 9. Sorry, I forget what the actual name is. I know it's in Africa, but that type of area. So it kind of was a bit like Mirror's Edge meets Assassin's Creed, running away from some authority figure type thing. And here we are now with this.
If they made a movie out of this, I would watch it so many times.
Yeah, so seeing this, which essentially is our new main protagonist seems to be a black woman and a Farmov monkey, and boy, bang, bang, motherfucker, I bet that's going to be on a lot of Tumblr pages.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it's a monkey with a British black voice.
Yeah, with a sort of Cockney British voice. Yeah. That swears a lot.
He sounds like a British black Cockney.
Yeah, and also
it doesn't work, but it's so hilarious.
I know. I mean, again, maybe this is what. Well, let's be fair. Ubisoft are helping with South Park's fractured butthole, so maybe Michelle and Sal's been hanging out with Trey and Matt too much.
Oh.
But like I said, I will say this: when I saw the trailer, I did think to myself, "This is it." But I did think to myself, "It can't be. It's just so ridiculously over the top and whatever." And the moment when the theme actually kicks in at the very end, I thought, like, "Oh God, it is Beyond Good and Evil 2."
Well, we'll wait until the game comes out, because honestly, it's coming out, but that's basically all the information we can take upon. Other than these characters could be the main two we play as, it's an entire pre-rendered CGI trailer, so basically it's not representative of the actual final product.
No, the only thing we did get... No, I mean, the only thing we did get is actually the crew working on the game and showing off one of the players flying, which I did think they said this is going to be a multiplayer game as well, and apparently one of the other rumors was it was going to be for the Switch first. So that's all I know so far in terms of the actual game.
It doesn't look like it's going to be for the Switch. I think it'll just be a PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Well, we don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing on the Ubisoft, which you teased earlier on Nintendo, is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. First and foremost, why the fuck isn't this a Mario and Sonic RPG RTS? Because that's probably the only genre outside of a traditional RPG that the two could do a crossover with.
Well, this is the story, because apparently Miyamoto said to the guy who's actually developing this, he basically said to him, is like, don't make a jumper or a running game, make something different. And you do think to yourself, what the hell can you do with Mario that, I mean, obviously he's done kart racing, golfing, sports game. RTS, yeah, that's new.
Yeah. I think Mario's done pretty much every single fucking job there is.
He's done every single gaming genre there is and done it well. That's the other thing to really talk about.
And people say, oh, what about edutainment? Yeah, he did that as well.
Yes.
He did mini games with Mario's Game World.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mario's something.
Whatever.
Where I forget his name now. It's escaped me. The voice actor.
Oh, him, yeah. That's Mario, card game or whatever. That was the first time he got to play Mario.
I forget his fucking name now.
Yeah,
Charles Martinet, there you go. Charles Martinet.
All right. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So the actual trailer itself looks pretty good. It looks fun. It's like it's Mario with the humor of the rabbits. Especially, I just kind of chuckled when the rabbit is going, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. I mean, you have one that's dressed up like Peach anyway, so you're already going like...
taking selfies and all that. Mm-hmm. And then we see Peach who's been surrounded by enemies and like all of a sudden just bang, bang, and just goes... Okay, can you be a bit more sadistic, because you can't be innocent while shooting a gun, okay?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing as well, is Mario's got a gun here, which, when Hedgehog does it, oh my god, this is drama. When Mario does it, well, I'm not sure what the reaction is at the minute, actually.
No, it's not really guns, it's kind of like, plasters, like Mega Man blasters. It's still a gun! Again,
Yeah.
it's like, why rabbits of everything? Why the rabbits? The actual thing that almost killed the fucking Rayman franchise.
I really like them. He likes the rabbits. Apparently, he's got a whole bunch of figurines on his desk. So really, if he likes it, they get to do it.
It should have been a Mario and Sonic crossover RTS. And even then, you could have not just the Switch. You could make it for the 3DS and do it like the a dual game like Pokemon. I've been thinking in my head yesterday when I was actually saw the trailer, thinking, why can't it just be Mario and Sonic? You could have one set in Mario's world, one set in Sonic's world. Mario and Sonic Empires and Mario and Sonic Kingdoms.
Yeah, I mean, well, anything.
Honestly, that makes sense in terms of the RTS, and also it's like the Eggman Empire and Bowser's Kingdom. The names make sense.
It's all there, but Miyamoto didn't want that. I don't know. I mean, the only thing I have curious is like, can they make an RTS game like this work for a mass audience? Because the first thing I thought was XCOM, and I know that's a bit of a complicated beast.
So, if this is going to be like very baby's first RTS compared to Halo Wars, which was pretty much baby's RTS, because I managed to complete a couple of missions in that game, and I suck at RTS. Like, this could be the game to introduce a large audience. It's just, why the hell does it have to be Mario and Rabbids? It could have just been a Mario game. It could have been Mario and something game. It could have been a Mario and Fire Emblem. That could be exactly the same thing. Mario meets Fire Emblem, and again, a lot of people will just say just play Fire Emblem Awakening. So it
exists.
It exists the same way a Tyrannosaurus with a Mario hat and a mustache exists.
It now exists in the world of pop culture.
Some PC stuff. Couldn't give two shits. Bethesda. First of all, the Skyrim on Switch is now confirmed, which was shown on the initial release trailer, and I never.
Well, they teased it. It was like, oh, we might do it for the game, but you never know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Who's to say no?
Wolfenstein 2, something called the New Colossus.
Well, it's set in a world where the Nazis have won, so basically, where the hell do you go from that?
Wolfenstein: A New Order, basically, it's not basically alternate history; it's now alternate future.
Yes.
So Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, which is, if you're going to get your panties in a twist about over the renaming everything, well, first of all, the game in 2009 was just called Wolfenstein. And secondly, the only other Wolfenstein 2 was the very, very old one before it took the license.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, surprisingly though, a lot of people are upset with this game because you're shooting Nazis. And I think, oh, this basically just the right-wing...
Well, why now?
Yeah, it's just like, why now?
Why are they upset now than not, say, the last game? What's changed?
They think it's representing the right-wing stuff, the political, like, oh, these guys act like Nazis, so basically people like Nazis. Like, it's Nazis!
It's the comical,
acting like Nazis, you're acting like a Nazi, you're doing Godwin's Law or whatever. It's like, people are actually Nazis, they wear the swastikas. And honestly, if it was
remember how Indiana Jones portrayed them as, front live and, this Jewish thing is very unpopular for us against the Führer and all that kind of nonsense. It's like, it's pretty much built into Wolfenstein's blood. That's the gag.
Yeah, you can't be upset at Wolfenstein fighting Nazis when it's pretty much the entire fucking thing. And if you're that upset about it, why the hell did you actually not say anything about it about Battlefield 1 or when Call of Duty was still about World War II and will be about World War II? Again, it's like, and that's something I don't get. But quickly going to mention Call of Duty World War II. It's like, oh, it's a fresh breath of air compared to the modern military shooters. It's like, this is what it was before Call of Duty 4 came around. And
this is what happens because you hit a brick.
Only went back once with Call of Duty 5 World at War.
Yeah. Although wasn't that the Vietnam War?
No, that was Black Ops.
Okay, right.
World at War. The one before. It came between Modern Warfare 1 and 2.
Okay, then.
Surprisingly, I know my history of Call of Duty games.
Well, put it this way, the Call of Duty series has gotten to a point now. It's like, what's the difference between this and Halo and every other sci-fi shooter? It's like, oh dear, not a lot.
Yeah, because like World War II, then modern, then future. Then Battlefield was kind of like modern majoritively, unless it called itself 1943.
Yeah.
1942. Then it went to the kind of semi-future, and then went back
to
World War I.
Yeah, they did like a side series called Bad Company and all that stuff. So they did that.
Yeah, that was like a comedic. That was Hardline. It's just, No one knows what the fuck. Apparently, going back to ancient history now, or basically within the last 100 years, is considered a breath of fresh air. So, if you're going to blame fighting Nazis, how about actual fucking Nazis rather than the alternate history future Nazis?
Well, then anyway, you can get away with that because it's not the real world, because you can make up whatever kind of crap you want.
Pretty much. So that will win the New Order and the Old Blood were actually pretty well received. No surprise that Wolfenstein 2 and New Colossus is coming out. I just want to know what the fuck the Colossus is.
I will admit, actually, one thing I wanted from Bethesda was any news about a DLC single player for Doom, because I haven't played the game, but I really want to. But I would love the idea for them to add something more to the game already, because I think, everybody didn't think Doom would work. Nobody thought Doom 4, or whatever you want to call it, was going to work as a game. Then it totally blew the socks off. So, I don't know, maybe later on...
Their PR with the embargo on the reviews was stupid, but again, it's like, why the hell would you do that when the game was good anyway? So
I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe I'll have to wait maybe next year, E3, then we'll get Doom 2 or whatever.
id and Bethesda have a really good relationship right now, so Doom was good, Wolfenstein was good, this was going to be just as good. Surprisingly, Evil Within 2, the first game wasn't even that fucking good, okay? It's basically, aside from the opening half hour, 15 minutes, it goes into Resident Evil 4 again.
Well, put it this way, it now has to contend against Resident Evil 7, the game that arguably is pretty much saying this is what survival horror should be anyway to the series that started it.
Unless you're judged by a trailer, which again, it's all CGI, it's going to go, it's going to be the Final Fantasy route, it's a different protagonist, and he has to deal with another mind, because the Japanese name is called Cycle Break.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in the Evil Within.
Yeah, essentially, it's like something in your mind.
Mind fucking with you. And
yes.
reality
I know what that's like. I'll definitely say that. They definitely got that aspect right.
So, who the fuck knows with this? It's gonna be. Hopefully, it's still Shinji Mikami and.
It will be.
And whatnot, but I don't know. It's just if it's going because we had the DLC which answered a few questions. I still haven't watched Markiplier's playthrough of the. You got the assignment. There was supposed to be something else and the Executioner. I haven't really got around to doing those. But
then again, isn't that the worst thing to do with horror? Is explain why is this freaky shit happening to you? Isn't it more scary to not know? They didn't explain
the freaky shit in the first place. It's just
okay.
It just shit happened and you had to accept it and move on rather than raise a hand going, "Excuse me, why the fuck?"
What was the guy with the box head and then tentacles popped out?
Yeah, why the fuck am I walking down an entire corridor full of mannequin parts?
Why can't I look up?
Other than freak me the fuck out because I don't like mannequins.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that to do with anything?
Yeah, unless it's meant to be psychological horror, but again, that's down to the user.
Yeah, so Evil Within 2 maybe be better than may actually tell a better story. There was also Fallout VR and Doom VR, which would be fun.
Smashing skulls in hell in virtual reality.
But moving on to Microsoft's, and we'll save the big fun thing to last.
By the way, should we mention the other big thing?
I can't remember.
The number big 3 that everybody's been waiting for a long time. To do with, Square and that other company. What's their name?
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Oh, all right. Well, they did a new trailer.
We'll go on anyway. Kingdom Hearts 3. We finally got another trailer, showed off gameplay, and compared to the 2015 gameplay, has greatly improved on its presentation.
Yeah. Although they're still not sure when it's coming out.
Magical parkour elements. And anything I could put those two words together: magical and parkour.
Yeah.
It shows that you actually are on Olympus fighting titans.
And
that's a bit all it actually showed, really. Maybe some other places and.
Well, Mephiles is still in it. Pete's still in it.
It's not Mephiles.
Isn't it?
You said Mephiles. It's Maleficent.
Maleficent, that was it. It. Sorry. Yeah, wrong person.
The repeat and talking ahead about a black box of the world, so it's no longer the heart. Then
because the last time they did that,
they showed Zemus and Ansem, which were the main bad guys in Kingdom Hearts 2, 1 and 2. And if you're confused as to why they're still alive and why they're looking for Roxas, even though Roxas is inside Britain Sorrow at this point, You have to go play Dream Drop Distance because I'm not going to explain the fucking story for that.
No, at this point, it's basically, why the Disney and Square characters in the same universe? Well, if you want the real reason, an elevator chat, that's what happened. But the reality reason, it's the game world. It's basically one hell of a long complex between a war and dimensions, and light and dark, and evil and happiness, blah, blah, blah.
You might as well just read the cliff notes of every single game rather than playing, because honestly,
Exactly.
the fact that it's in my mind, I remember every detail. It's easy to understand but hard to talk about. It's like time travel, okay?
Yeah.
If
you tell them the rules of it, yeah.
Which Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance does involve time travel as well.
Yeah, that's one of the many things.
Yeah.
But basically, yes, 3 is still in the works. It's coming eventually.
We'll have to wait until another convention to actually see a new world and more gameplay and trailers.
Yeah, so
there's that.
Yeah.
But getting back onto Microsoft, we have a game called Anthem, which is from BioWare. No idea what it's about.
Well, apparently they're going to make this now because Mass Effect is now on the naughty step.
Yeah, because you actually hired whoever just for the fucking facial animations.
That's it. Well, it's not that. It's actually, it was the fact that EA said, "Get it out now." Oh, it didn't sell well. You go in the corner, Mister. But it was your fault. Shut up.
We'll wait until a year for that.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3, surprisingly, promoted by Terry Crews.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
That was bizarre, but the first Crackdown game wasn't really that bad. It's basically you're a very Superman police officer.
Yeah.
And you're fighting crime, and you pick up upgrades throughout to a point where you can actually jump really high or run really fast. Essentially, it's like Saints Row 4 before Saints Row 4 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking love Saints Row 4.
Well, apparently Crackdown was made by one of the key people who made GTA in the first place. So this was basically, I'm going to one up that game. It's only taken them 3 games before to really get anywhere near that stature.
Yeah, so Crackdown 3 looks to be pretty good. There was also Angels of Mayhem starring Johnny Gat, which it looks like basically a police version of. Essentially, it looks like Crackdown, but in the Saints Row universe, starring Johnny Gat, which at this point is Jesus in that universe.
Yeah, didn't he die, go to hell, then came back to life?
He didn't actually die. He was actually abducted by the actual big baddie of Saints
Row. Oh yeah, right. He
was
abducted by aliens, wasn't he?
Then he went to hell because your main character was taken by the devil because he was the only person worthy enough to marry his daughter. I still remember that cutscene. It's like, got your plan. I'm going to go up to the devil and shoot him in the face. I think he missed a few steps. No, I said shoot him in the face. So I'm looking forward to that game as well. It looks really fun. Forza 4, who gives a shit? Original Xbox games will now be backwards compatible with the Xbox One family. That is pretty good, so the people who want to play Blinks the Time Sweeper on the latest Xbox console can. Well,
I'll be happy if they can make Alien...
If those games actually do work on...
I was going to say, I'll be happy if they make Alien Breed Trilogy work on there, so, bit of shout out for Team 17.
Well, it depends really when they got around to it, because apparently Sonic CD and Sonic Fighters are backwards compatible with the Xbox One. But like the original Xbox games themselves, like if you had the disc, possibly.
Yeah.
Even though they release them like, because remember when the Xbox 360 had the original Xbox games to download?
Yeah, that was a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while back. It's like there was this fucking Crash Rapid Cortex was on there for £15.
Yeah, but actually, let's skip ahead because of the one we might as well talk about Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, we've got a new trailer for that.
And before
we got around to talk about the big Microsoft thing yet, but Crash Bandicoot. Let's go back to Sony.
Yeah, well, mainly Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Now, everybody was assuming online that the big reveal they were going to show off was, oh, they made Team Racing, didn't they? They're going to make it the game. They're going to do it as a DLC. It's like, I had this gut feeling, both A, that's not going to be true, and I don't want that to be true. And before people start flaming me, why wouldn't that be a good deal? Here's the deal. The game's not out yet. These guys have to prove themselves they can do the platforming Crash right before they go into the go-karting side of things. And the other sad truth is, obviously, they did actually do the unthinkable, trying to make a sequel in Nitro Car, and no disrespect to any of the men and women who worked on that, worked what they did and made the best they could. They just basically made a PS2 version of a PS1 game. But it just didn't really have the feel. It wasn't as fast or fragrant or whatever. There was something about it that just didn't feel right. And I think now they could do it, but I would want them to hold off that until at least this one's out and people get a good chance to figure out whether it's good or not.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, the big thing they revealed about it is you can now play as Coco.
Yeah,
properly.
In main levels, it will show like I showed a clip of Coco running away from a boulder in Crash Bandicoot 1.
Yeah, you can play through it.
Or was it Crash 2?
No, Crash 1.
Oh.
No, yeah, exactly. You can play Coco in all the major on-foot sections. You can't play her in the boss fights, I think. That's the other rule, and any of the other vehicles.
Other than the one she actually faces.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Coco is playable for the second time. Well, if in terms of, playability, you played her in 3, you can play her in Team Racing and all that stuff. But in terms of a platforming side, this is now the second time they've done it, and they seem to have done it right this time.
Yeah. So also the fact that they got some new artwork for it as well, which looks pretty good, although kind of uncanny because I'm too used to the original artwork.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's pointing out the Crash 2 one looks a bit more psychotic, but that was why I love it.
Well, Crash is insane, so yeah.
Yeah. Though I will say
I'm a bit tiny though. That's why it was rejected.
Yeah. Though I will say I'm a little bit sad that they recreated all the American artwork. They didn't do the European one, but hey, it's not a big cry.
Well, Crash 1 and 2 are pretty much exactly the same. Crash 3.
I know it was 3, yeah. But hey, whatever. Maybe another time.
Still looking forward to it. It comes out June or July?
June 30th.
Yeah,
June 30th.
End of this month as well. We've got 15 days more to go.
Yeah, exactly. So basically,
which I can't get it because I need to pay off a fucking AC bill.
Yeah. Although other quick thing I want to talk about is they did show this off at E3. They did have a little booth about it where they had trees and boxes. In fact, they had some crates in with Activision's name on it and TNT and Nitros lying around. But also, this is something that will make people laugh. Is remember those Crash adverts with the guy in the costume with his head popping out of his mouth? They brought that guy back. They brought the costume back, baby. In fact, online on Twitter, if you go on there, somebody's actually done a video of Crash dancing against an orc from the Shadow of War game.
I forgot to talk about that one as well. Middle Earth Shadow of War.
Yeah.
So, but it's just Shadow of Mordor sequel.
Yeah.
I haven't got around to playing, but hey, I'm about 5 years behind on my games.
Yeah. But I will. All right. Before we get to the big stuff, one thing I want to talk about is that I did see some of the conferences and whatever, and I know some people are going to point out which was the best, which was the worst. Some people say Nintendo did the best or whatever. But in my opinion, if I had to say the one I did see and I went like, this is pretty dire, was probably the Warner Brothers one. Because when I tuned in, they were talking about Lego Dimensions, the new pack they've released, and we'll put it this way, basically, they got a bunch of people to cheer for stuff like we've got Teen Titans Go Lego and Powerpuff Girls Lego.
Okay.
And trust me, you could not hear many people just going yay. Which part of me was thinking, someone in the back row is going to say, get off the stage, you child murderers. It's like, you can't say that because these aren't. It's just like something because so much that people really either hate and despise Go or can't. If you're like me, I'm ignoring the new Powerpuff Girls because why should I acknowledge it exists?
Apparently, it got creepy with this one character.
Yeah, I know. There's a whole thing about it, but then again, James putting out there was one episode where Buttercup was into a guy, but then beat the shit out of him. So that's what they need to do with Blossom, basically. But yeah, I will say that's the only thing in terms. If you want to look at those top 10 cringy worst E3 moments, I probably think that's going to be on there. And what didn't help is the fact that when they put
I don't think you'll beat Konami in 2008. You won't beat that one.
I know, but it'll be on one.
That wasn't just cringe. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, but I will say this also helped is the fact when they were showcasing the game to people, somebody put the wrong bloody packs on. So they picked up Blossom and then they got Harry Potter instead. It's like somebody was messing around with the bloody pads and thinking, oh my god. So, if it was me, I would be thinking, you trying to be funny because this is not funny.
Yeah. Anyway, and the biggest thing to come out of this year was Microsoft finally revealed what Project Scorpio is. The Xbox One X. Yeah. That still sounds funny. It's been 3 days now and it still sounds funny.
It still sounds like the sort of thing you just go.
It sounds like a Counter-Strike's player name. The Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And judging by the specs of it, it has, let's see, 6 teraflops, 326 gigabytes to 12 gigabytes.
I'm surprised we got to a point now where teraflops is a word.
Yeah, I think that's just the graphics really.
I know, it's like we used to go from terabytes to teraflops.
Yeah,
we've got hundreds of.
No, it's something completely different. It's just the graphic processor.
All right, okay.
It runs better than the PS4 Pro because the PS4 makes 6 teraflops with Scorpio, and the PS4 Pro's got 4.12. The processor is just slightly more gigahertz than PS4 Pro. And but the only major difference between the two is the price. Like they're both going to be 1 terabyte, so that's a large amount of space. The PS4 Pro currently right now is going for at least 300 to 350, and apparently this is on a fucking. No, wait.
Ooh, update.
No, I'm trying to find. It's like it varies. Like PS4 Pro can go 350 on Amazon. It's like 560.
Yeah.
So it varies, like a 1 terabyte console. I don't know.
All right.
I'm gonna just jump to Amazon right now and see what it is.
That's all we go for with our gaming news, particularly if we want to know when the hell it comes out.
Well, Amazon's actual prices actually are. Fine.
The other thing, haven't they said the Xbox One X is apparently the most powerful gaming console at the minute?
It is the most powerful.
Yeah, at the minute.
I'm not seeing an actual price for this.
No. Though I did hear, I can't remember, but I might have heard wrong, but wasn't they saying it was about 500 quid or something, or 600 quid dollar-wise?
Alright, the PS4 Pro is $400. The Xbox One X, and I'm not going to get over that name, it's not going to be not funny to me.
That's basically going to be, every time you mention to him, he's going to snigger.
I'm going to snigger every time. It's like the most pathetic fucking name since the Xbox One name.
Put it this way, he's basically going to do the thing in Monty Python where anybody says Bickus Dickus, somebody's going to go...
It's... Xbox One X. I can't get over that. I really can't.
Yeah, alright.
It sounds
anyway,
so
price,
fucking stupid. The Wii U is bad, but that's just bad because of bad marketing. That's supposed to be a new console. This is just an upgrade. But it's still stupid. $499 or $500 for the Xbox One X or $400 for the PS4 Pro. It's more like personal preference right now.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It's like these are the Pro consoles rather than the actual Slim consoles, the Xbox One S or the PS4 Slim.
Yeah.
Which comparatively, the Xbox One S is still better than the PS4 Slim. The problem with that is that the Slim and the Pro of PS4 were at least so close together. There was no point of getting the Slim because the Pro's coming out.
Yeah.
So,
though, as I said before, the problem has been is like people that have got on the Pro, there's been lots of just niggling issues to just make the thing work. So I don't know whether this is going to be the same thing for them.
And that's pretty much it, unless you want to talk about EA, which is, hey, it's another FIFA, hey, it's another Madden, hey, Need for Speed Payback. We're
still here, the elongated arseholes of the gaming industry.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, hooray, we got a sequel to a reboot, which wasn't really that good to begin with. It's just, hey, it's just Battlefield with Star Wars.
Yeah, well, put it this way, there were 2 good Battlefront games, and there was going to be a third one that Free Radical Design were going to do, but then they got cut short by LucasArts shutting down as well, so everybody lost apart from EA.
Yeah, we lost out on a pretty good Star Wars game, 1313.
Yeah, but, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but let's not worry about that. Let's get on to happy things.
Well, how happy can you get with Sonic Forces?
Yeah,
Now to talk about this, because it's the biggest news and everyone is still going.
Well, everybody listening into this, hopefully, is waiting on.
I've been barely paying attention to the chat at this point.
Right, but I'm hoping they're still saying, please, just talk about Forces. That's all we're here for.
No, they're still going on about Forces, so.
All right, good. So don't worry, we're doing it,
kids.
Not
ragging on any of you. It's just you have your own conversations while listening to us. So
yeah.
Sonic Forces.
Yes.
First of all, fuck you, Sega, for having a pre-E3 live stream of the gameplay before anyone else. So
yeah, but then again...
That was bad timing.
Yeah, but then again, when other people doing that as well, there wasn't just Sega.
Yeah. But it's like, you could have held off until we actually showing the trailer off, so let's talk about the trailer.
Yes,
It showed off a bit more showed us the same gameplay we've seen before, but we also got shown the classic Sonic facing off against Egg Dragoon. Which
yes.
is pretty interesting. It's like, it's the first time we've seen the damn thing. Why the hell does that thing still exist? It was destroyed last time.
I know, we'll put it this way, this time is basically, let's take something that everybody knows and love and twist it again, except what have we done this time? Well, we've made it rock and roll in 4, we've done it in other games, so, I don't know, just get the big robot thing from Unleashed.
Pretty much. A lot of people say, no, it's from Generations. No, it's Unleashed. Why the fuck do you think it was in Generations? The only difference is what light colours show up on it.
Yeah.
We've got more gameplay of
Park Avenue.
Park Avenue, and we saw the Avatar gameplay, which that was called in the game.
Yeah.
And it's showing off like you can have the Wispons. You use the Wisps. I think it's confirmed. It's like only the Avatar will use the Wisps in terms of like the red burst and all that. But also the Wispons have their own. Like if you use burst, it says your flamethrower, which takes up half the fucking screen. That was
basically it just allows you to get to higher levels. It's like an extra powerful jump.
Yeah, but use the burst in the actual flamethrower.
So the flamethrower, and you can use it as a flame whip.
And the Wispon.
Yeah, and there's also a whip one as well, which I will admit
that one's Ivory Lightning.
Okay, I was going to say, I mean, some of these abilities and weapons do remind me a lot of Ratchet and Clank, so whether or not Sonic Team have been taking ideas from other people's games again, I don't know, but hey, it's working.
They're watching our stuff and nicking our ideas. I swear that's what the writers of Sonic Boom are doing as well.
Yeah, well, again, they know about it. It's basically, what can we do to make them both laugh and a bit pissed at the same time?
So, but also the trailer, it's just... Everyone's talking about this. Everyone talked about it yesterday. There were so many videos up right now because everyone actually saw it, reacted to it. There's so many. We're pretty much late to the party. We're the early adopters right now. But then again, we're not. Then again, the only thing I can say is that we watch it when it's settled and we talk about it. I've seen the trailer like 5 times over just to see every bit of information.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you got the 3 heroes. Fair enough. That's those gameplay styles.
Yeah.
But we see Shadow, Metal Sonic.
That's it again. Him again.
And Chaos.
Oh, he's back.
All standing against Sonic. And then we have the new character which is being called Infinite because of the symbol, which is an 8 turned into an infinity symbol, and looks like the lowercase delta symbol as well.
Yeah, basically well, here's the thing. All right, I'm going to say this just for my sake. Is when I saw that guy, I did think to myself, that's going to be somebody. Whatever. It's either a brand new person they've actually made up, or, and this is a big or, whether or not this is actually someone from Sonic Boom being captured and turned into a monster.
Possibly.
I'm just saying, I'm still holding hope out that somebody from Boom is going to be in this game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want it, for God's sakes. I don't care if you can't, if you want to deny it, I don't care. I want it.
So. I'm not too sure.
But yeah, I mean, the real question is...
who it is. It just has a new power. But then again, that seems to be a standard for every new game. Like when Time Eater came out, it was a brand new power, turned out to be Eggman. Yeah.
So, well, Eggman's still the main guy behind everything, so, he's still the boss of the whole, taking over the world and doing it well.
Yeah. But it's just the fact that it's just... Why is Shadow... Like, Shadow and Metal Sonic, fair enough. Shadow's an anti-hero, Metal Sonic is a counterpart. Zavok's still evil, he's still alive, if you actually pay attention to the cutscenes. And the whole story, I didn't say they died.
No, they just got knocked out, yeah.
But why Chaos? Why... that main explanation, the only thing I can think of is... And also, I'm going to bring it back into another thing which was shown in the gameplay of Classic Sonic's boss fight.
Yeah, so I was going to say, the other thing we should mention is during the gameplay footage, we did get to see the UI system. It's definitely changed. We also see the other thing they kept saying, the other characters are in the game, they're just doing the talking bits. And
yeah, which seems kind of lazy, but at the same time, I'd rather be that than just voiceovers with subtitles, which they did in Generations.
I know, I mean, that's kind of that's my fear, because that's the one thing I know a lot of people really didn't fucking like. It's like, oh dear, I bet a lot of people are going to just turn that off in the option menu, if there is an option to turn it off.
So, but I'll go back to the actual villains and the little tag at the end of the trailer, and Eggman says
during the boss fight,
during the boss fight, is like you're a lot of trouble for a pint-sized Sonic from another dimension.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck?
Well, okay, now we talked about this before, saying the thing with Forces is that it looks like Eggman is trying to do the whole go through time and space and screw it up so I become the main ruler. And we assume that Forces is basically he's done it again, except this time it's working. But now, whether or not he's actually doing dimension up, and then this is another thing, again, this doesn't have a silly... Consider this like my theory or stupid ramblings, whatever you want. But here's the thing, all right? So if he's doing this dimension hopping thing, that means he's going to different universes where Shadow is still the main anti-hero. Metal Sonic is actually...
Yeah, that's what actually said as well. I said it in a tweet, that the Chaos, Zavok, Shadow, and Metal Sonic could all be dimensional counterparts of when they succeeded in the evil beings.
Yeah, exactly. And also think about it.
Chaos actually destroyed the world. Metal Sonic actually took over and destroyed Sonic and Heroes. Shadow actually took over and
Avenged Maria,
or even in Shadow the Hedgehog, where he actually joined up with Dark Doom or took over the Black Arms. And Zavok actually took the life energy away from the planet, and actually and the Lost Hex actually succeeded.
Yeah. So, I mean, the real thing is basically saying that Sonic's got to go up against, first of all, Eggman, who's seemingly got an infinite power of robots, but he's also got to go against a bunch of other foes, which, you know, but to be fair, these are from universes that they succeeded. They're going to have a pretty big challenge ahead of them.
Pretty much. And also the fact that the leaked script says that Game Guy 7 Aces said this as well, that Tails could have died in the game, but judging by what we see, especially in the gameplay footage,
well, he's alive for what we've seen so far.
Yeah, in classic Sonic, so Tails could very much been thrown into another dimensions or over it's like, yeah, it's forces and all joining up, so, and also got dimensional stuff as well, so who's to say that Sonic and his code have been thrown into a dimension where Eggman actually won? But who knows whether or not Infinite is a dimensional being as well.
Yeah, whether or not he's like the crux of why this all happened as well. I mean, that's normally when they introduce new characters, like he's the reason for all this crazy stuff happening.
So we don't know about story right now. It's all speculation.
I mean, they're definitely setting up the idea.
There's a lot of confusion, but
basically,
what I want to say, the actual tag at the end is join the uprising, not join the resistance.
Yeah. Basically, it's obviously before they've said the idea is that basically Eggman is doing this world domination thing, big style, and it's now up to Sonic and most of his companions to basically join up and force a small army to defeat him.
Pretty much, but even then, it could be random view, like in Generations, where it's just like everything goes back together.
Yeah.
And also the fact as well, there's other theory that Guy actually pointed out is that even though it's classic Sonic and it's still called classic Sonic, it's not young Sonic.
No, it's just another. Yeah.
But as far as the timeline goes, it completely fucks over everything.
Yeah, exactly.
This classic Sonic is the same one, but when sent back in time to Sonic 2, Sonic 1, that spouted a new timeline. That spouted a new parallel dimension.
Yeah.
So who knows? That could be the same. It could not be the same.
Yeah, it's well, basically, like I said, I mean, my feeling about this is that Sonic Team have basically said, they looked at Generations and said, there's an interesting idea for a game premise we can get out of this, except in Generations is, let's make it about the game and having fun of revisiting all levels. This one's now, okay, let's go into that idea of messing around with time and history and screwing everything up, and this is the end result. So that's how I'm looking at this.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're hyped. We're looking forward.
I mean,
to
put it this. Actually, the question we should be asking ourselves is that basically, from what we've seen at E3, do you think the game looks better or worse since we've seen it?
Looks better. It's like a lot of the stuff, like I don't know. Sega's a habit of actually bringing stuff up and bringing stuff down again. It actually is all of this wave of excitement and disappointment.
Yeah.
Yay, we got a new Sonic game. Ooh, we got Green Hill. It's a classic Sonic. Yay, we got. Yeah, the gameplay is basically Sonic
gem polished. Yeah.
Is Generations Unleashed again. Boo, because we're having Green Hill again. Yay, we got the third gameplay character isn't just another. Yay, we get a third character, but it's not the characters we want. It's us. So that's kind
then again,
middle things.
half and half. Yeah.
The story's going to be dark. No, it isn't. It's okay, but the villains are actually the villains again, and just confusion.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I'm still, again, after seeing the game in works, actually seeing, how it looks and particularly how the menu system works. I mean, the other thing they brought back is the ranking system, which kind of works the same way like it did in Gen, but I don't think it'll be as forgiving as it was, as you said before.
No. And also, surprisingly, get ready to laugh. Everyone get ready to laugh. Some fans are bitching about the game, and not in the same way that already have bitches. Like, people are bitching about Green Hill, people are bitching about boost gameplay. You wanted it back in the first place, okay? Make it your damn mind. And I don't care if anyone actually called me out saying, oh, fans don't know what they want, so therefore me punching that shit out isn't going to fix things. Well, here's the thing. Stop fucking doing it. Stop fucking complaining about stuff you want but don't want at the same time. You want your boost gameplay back, you won't get good boost gameplay back. Sorry, I just need to get out of my system. Some fans, and I swear to fucking God this is true, are bitching about the results screen. And I just lost him. Okay, just lost Nicky. Let's see if we get him back. Flying everyone. Every single time, just every time. Is it like? I'm sorry, and yeah, there it fucking goes. Just lost Nicky, and no one to yell Mike on top, yell at. But yeah, I've heard that people complain about the results screen because it doesn't look good. I'm like, the results screens are just results screens. You don't actually, it essentially just tells you what rank you get. And with the color scheme, it's very much exactly what you expect. Yeah, the aesthetic of it isn't exactly matching up with the logo, but then again, it's E3 demo. It's not meant to look perfect yet. Let me try getting him back again. There we go. Hello? Hello?
Man, yeah?
There we go.
Yeah, sorry, that was the most 60 seconds of agonizing of trying to get the web back on. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Alright, are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. We're about us ranting about the freaking results screen.
Alright, go on then, right, because this is meant to make me laugh.
Fans are bitching about the results screen, about how it looks.
Okay. In terms of the style it is, like trying to do a Sonic 2 look?
No, it looks basically italicized, got black with white,
red,
grey, red. It's like, people are complaining about that. It's like, it's a results screen. What the fuck do you expect it to be? You don't expect, like, fair enough, Generations results screen look better.
Well, basically, you had Sonic in the background and the actual still in the game level. This is basically now taking out, have the character just doing a pose now.
Yeah, the results screens have never been all good. Adventure 1, 2, and Heroes all look the fucking same.
Yeah.
Shadow the Hedgehog looks shit. Sonic 06 looked pretty bland.
Yeah.
But the actual presentation of all of it is the same. There's Sonic, all the characters. Here's your score, here's your time, here's your rings. Tally it up, here's your freaking rank. Generations probably the best looking one they had.
Yeah.
But then again, they actually had a theme, because when Generations, it was about those like pop-art style shapes.
Yes.
It had the rings, it had the stripes, it had the stars, and that was carried over into the result screen and overall theme of the game. Swallows is the yellow, it's the red, it's the black, it's the grey. That's all there.
Again, it's got more of a comic pop art, really, I would say.
Yeah, that's what Sonic is, though. It's all about pop art. The only thing I can say is like it doesn't have. It's using the colors. The only thing it doesn't really, I don't know, pop as in general, because the logo has kind of that
spray painted graffiti.
The spray painted graffiti and kind of the end of a paintbrush kind of look.
Yeah.
Like a faded web of paint kind of look. It doesn't have that. That's what I'm complaining about. But other than that, it's like the result screen. It doesn't not meant to be the highlight of the entire game. When you get an S rank,
again,
fair enough. But then again, S rank will look like over 1 million points and still no S rank. So these are really fucking sadistic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that's kind of worrying me about the results screen is basically, oh boy, they're bringing back the punishing factor of you better do this exactly right type attitude of it.
Who's to say that like on the first level you get an S rank shirt, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's my only fear really with that. But outside of that, no, got nothing against the look of it.
No, and overall, right now, it's like as far as we can see with Forces, it looks to be a good game. Not great. It's not going to be on the same level as say Generations. So.
That's it. We'll put it this way. I mean, obviously, in comparison to Mario Odyssey, obviously Mario's doing this big, huge push because it's been stuck in a rut for a long time. This in comparison is basically.
And Luigi.
Yeah, you Luigi because apparently they decided everything should be Luigi because that will get the fuckers back in.
Yeah, then they actually fucked up Paper Mario on 3DS, fucked up Paper Mario on the Wii.
Yes.
Yeah, did a Paper Mario crossover from Mario Luigi games, and that was shit.
Yeah, but like I said, Mario. If you're going to complain about Sonic banking on nostalgia, I mean, Mario has been doing that longer and for much more of your time and money effort than anything else. But in Forces, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's basically they know what works. It's like, let's try and keep them happy with this. This is what Forces is. It's more of an evolution of, right, Gen worked, let's try and see where we can push this a little further without going too far, otherwise they're going to chop our heads off.
Yeah, it actually looks to be a game designed around the story rather than a story designed around the game.
The game actually has a plot this time rather than actually, here's a game and here's a loose narrative to connect all the levels.
Yeah. So as far as everything right now, as far as the trailers showing the uprising, as we have to call it now with Infinite, we don't know what the fuck is going on. We don't know if Shadow is being a double agent. We don't know his mind control. We don't know whether or not he's a dimensional counterpart, where he actually won. We don't know whether time travel is involved. Who the hell knows? We won't know until I guess November, because it's always November.
Yeah, it's November time, holiday, whatever. But essentially, that's part of the fun going into this. Is like, okay, what kind of crazy tale are you going to tell us now, kids?
Yeah. Well,
but generally,
sorry.
No, I was going to say. I mean, generally speaking, what I've seen of the game, it still looks impressive. I'm still hopeful for it. There's nothing there I felt like was heartbreaking or anything, or like, well, my excitement to this has gone downhill right fast. But like I said, I'm sort of taking it.
The game still looks good. I think I'm still not pleased with the aesthetic, where it still seems to be inspired by Lost World. I don't like that look. I'm not crazy about it.
Well, basically, it's Green Hill Zone blocky style, basically, which seems to be the style we're going with.
Yeah, square trees. Just fuck off. That's Lost. It works on Lost Hex because that's a different planet. It doesn't work on freaking planet below.
Whatever the world Sonic lives in. Yeah.
Mobius. Just keep calling it Mobius.
All right, we'll just keep Mobius because that's what we think.
Yeah, that's pretty much canon in everyone else's eyes. It's Mobius in the actual comics. It's Mobius everywhere else, just not in the main games, other than the actual American manuals.
Yeah.
So, and for the fanboys who's bitching and complaining, just fucking stop.
You got Mania on the way.
You can have an opinion, but don't bitch and moan like it's not adventure free. It's not adventure free. Fuck off. I don't care if I kind of come off as mightier than thou. I'm not trying to be mightier than thou. I'm not a bigger fan than anyone else who's watching or Unity, or even a fucking 6-year-old who has got 2 plushies and 3 games because he's been watching the TV show.
By the way,
is a fan. You be your own fan. You don't let anyone dictate. It's just these fanboys can bitch and complain about every tiny little thing that doesn't really matter are really pissing me off. And that's why I made that video.
Well, all right. Well, putting the rage into something else. I mean, the other thing that did make me kind of suspicious was Aaron Webber went onto IGN showing off Forces, and I did think to myself, okay, I'm going to have to sit with the guys who assumed we're all a bunch of furry fuckers. Which is, let's be fair, IGN are still very much like, yeah, we can take you seriously. Yeah, exactly, mister. We think you're all a bunch of weirdos and everything else you do is fucked up. Yeah, exactly. So I was a bit, but I will say what I saw of Aaron on that, he was so professional and so good, and the other guys were constantly saying, well, actually, this game does look good. And he's probably thinking to himself, yeah, you say that, but I'll destroy you on social media if you do this again. So,
there's also one little thing as well when he actually brings sort of like the modern Sonic is that Adventure Games out? No, it's Generations.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to push adventure out so far. It's like, if you want to consider adventure canon, why the fuck do you have chaos?
That's it. Well, at this point, if they're putting Chaos and Shadow in this, they're saying, yeah, Adventure 2 and 1 and 2 matter for this game at least. But whatever, we'll see when it gets in.
Yeah, so looking forward. But also, Mania, we actually got some gameplay of that. We have Chemical Plant, which seems so different. I just want to play it now. Even when flying back to a show, I was like, oh, that's really good. Looks like that don't work. That's a new area. I want to play it. I want to play it. I want to discover. I want to explore.
Yeah, as you said.
Act 1 is going to be, here's your nostalgia. Act 2 is, here's our version.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, I think Mania Gen, and even Sonic 4 has always did this thing of, okay, let's start them in familiar territory, then let's put them in new areas that they'll be confused with. Then it's like, let's start them out with nostalgia, then blindside them halfway through.
Yeah, like Green Hill Act 2, the first boss is the Death Egg robot. Which,
yes,
I don't know, it just goes against everything you know. But then again, it was the first boss in Generations, but that made sense in time travel continuity. It's like, okay, got the Genesis games. What's the most popular boss fight there is outside of Doomsday? We can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Death Egg. It's the Death Egg robot.
Well, put it this way, basically, Eggman has gotten to a point now where he can miniaturize the Death Egg. Well, he's done two extremes. He's either can make it, so he can just tackle Sonic in the first area level, or use it to world domination power.
Then, Chemical Plant's like, okay, the first act is going to be majority, like 75% familiar. But Act 2 is like, oh, hey, you got...
It's bouncing gel.
You got bouncing gel you can actually change the colour of, which for blue is the blue is like a yellow spring and green is like a red spring.
Yeah, and they've also got like what I consider like the 2D equivalent of like the wall jump, except now you've got sticky pads to go up and down on.
Yeah, the sticky pads like wall jumps and like it's just weird, and yet the graphics look so fucking good.
Yeah,
I want the game now.
We just wait, August is coming. August is coming.
I know that's 2 fucking months away. Okay, I can't wait 2 fucking months for
this. Yeah. Although one thing I did hear, which was interesting, was apparently that when they talked about, okay, what about new levels, they have said that, well, we're keeping that a secret because we just want you people to discover it.
Yeah, and if there is anything, we've got we've got a classic zone from each of the classic games. If Stardust Speedway is Stardust Speedway is the green vine.
Overtaken by vegetation, yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got Green Hill for Sonic 1, Chemical Plant for Sonic 2, the Stardust Speedway for Sonic CD, and...
Then whenever send up, the Studiopolis and the Mirage Zone come into this, we don't know
Flying
yet.
Battery for Sonic and Knuckles, or Sonic 3 Knuckles, you want to get technical about it.
Yeah.
But we still have Studiopolis and Mirage Saloon, which is 2 new levels for Mania. Even though Mirage Saloon is technically Desert Dazzle from Sonic CD brought back to life.
Yeah, well, again, remix, crazed up.
So, looking forward to that. We're till August 15th for that, which...
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what I'm going to get for PC or PS4. Probably PS4 because I like having a fucking controller.
Yeah.
The PS4 controller seems very well suited.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that, I guess really the one thing I will say that this year's E3, I will admit that this year's E3 didn't really have anything that big or exciting in terms of from the big ones.
Not compared to the PS4 outdoing Xbox One announcements.
No, I mean, that was
it.
It's
just the highlight. It's like, here's how you share a game. Thanks!
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, kind of, okay, the games we showed a lot of time, yeah, they're still in the works next year, that's when they're coming out, that's mainly it. I mean, like you said, probably Nintendo was the best one because at least the games they showed off were like, okay, now there's a reason to get a Switch.
In terms of press conferences, actually goes, here's what we're doing, here's the game, have fun. Here's what we're doing, here's the game, have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Game, fun.
Exactly. Yeah. But I will say this, the funny thing with this year's E3, I think this is the first time in years where Mario, Sonic, and Crash have appeared all together at the same time for a long, long time now.
Yeah. I think we should end off now on a little surprise, which no one saw coming, no one expected this, no one fucking wanted this. Bubsy fucking Thor!
Yeah, Bubsy, the Return of the Woolies?
Yeah, Revenge of the Woolies, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's made by the same people who made the Great Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, which actually is a pretty good platformer.
I know.
You have to switch between the 2 sisters and it changes the world around them. So that's pretty good. So,
what are they doing with this game?
Just why? Why? Why are you bringing this fucker back?
I think I said this before, as in, we're getting to a point now where every time we make a joke about saying, ha ha ha, yeah, that'll never happen in millions of
When
years,
anyone
and
makes
it's
a
like,
meme,
oh.
I think, guarantee you, as soon as the fucking meme came out of Bubsy being the third character.
I mean, this is
the
you want to know whose fault it is?
Yeah, it's Sonic. It's Sonic's fault Bubsy's back.
Yeah.
Because of that meme, it's like, hey, we can make a Bubsy 4. We've got a license from Accolade, so let's go. Fuck,
yeah.
I never thought in my life I would actually say Bubsy 4, the fourth Bubsy game.
Yeah, because there is 3, and let's be fair, the whole point of Bubsy has been this has never been a good series. I mean, comparison to what IGN believed about Sonic the Hedgehog, Bubsy was never. I mean, that was the whole reason anybody knew about it.
So, it looks okay.
Although that said, I do know
looks like the gameplay showed looks like a semi-decent platformer. Hoping they scaled back the speed of it down, but ramped up a bit more from 3D.
Yeah, I would say from what I've seen of it, it does look. Or I'm guessing for the footage they have, there's still works of it because it didn't look that finished yet. And what they did show us was just typical little blah blahs coming back. Whatever. Here's a bit of fade in, fade out of an image. That was really it.
Yeah.
And part of me is still wondering: is this actually real? This is actually a real goddamn game, or this is a big elaborate joke still? Because
it's a real goddamn game because they actually released Bubsy 1 and 2 on Steam.
Oh god, well not 3D because nobody wants that.
No, it's 3D. Even though the first voice actress for Rouge did the voice of Bubsy then.
Yeah, but oh god, weird times. But yeah, so essentially, some people have been saying that this year's the comeback of the platformers, and with that guy, he's like, yeah, you're right.
We've had that back in 2005.
I know, but this is now like, okay, we got the big boys back, the big 3, Crash, Sonic, and Mario. Now it's basically the upcomers trying to come back. So, oh dear.
Well, anyway.
But that said, yeah.
That's E3. That's Sonic Forces. We'll probably do another one later this week anyway, if anything else comes up. Which it will.
Yeah.
Random cat was still spotlight. Yeah, damn you, Wicket, stealing everything.
Oh, he's Hi,
honey.
Hey, Chris, are you stealing the internet again?
He's stealing the internet. Anyway.
Yeah, thank you for all the listeners. Thank you for bearing with us and our technical difficulties and those ramblings, but hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, thank you all for watching. Support the Item Box by supporting the channel over on Patreon. Subscribe, share, the usual stuff people say at the end of Slate.
Plug.
Plug. Follow us on Twitter for other stuff as well. So, thank you all for watching and see you all next time.
Yeah, and then may your E3s be merry and joy. Unless you're artsy, then well, kill yourself.